All right, so Genesis, Hyundai Motor Company's luxury division. They've been around for a few years, and realistically, they are taking a lot of plays out of Lexus and Acura's book. This is the 2022 Genesis G70, and I think this is better than both of those brands. So the model we're in is a 2022 Genesis G70 Sport Advanced. It's got a sticker price of right around the 50 grand mark, and for that money, here's what you get. Under the hood, you've got a turbocharged V6 that pushes out 365 horsepower and almost 380 pound-feet of torque. And paired up to that engine is an 8-speed automatic transmission. It has paddle shifters, and that sends your power to all 4 wheels through a torque vectoring all-wheel drive system. That means that this car has no problem putting the power down. And that torque vectoring all-wheel drive system is actually rear-wheel drive biased. Compared to the system in the Acura TLX, this car likes to oversteer where the TLX tends to understeer, especially at the limit. Now, what does that mean for you as a driver? That means you're gonna have a lot more confidence in this car coming into a corner hot than you would in, say, the Acura. And how does this compare to, say, a Lexus? Well, for starters, I think the exterior and interior of this car is honestly a lot nicer than what Lexus offers in the IS. The technology is better. The adaptive lane keep assist, cruise control, all of that stuff works really well in this car. As you see, I'm coming around a corner. I just threw my lane keep assist on, and it's holding us in the center of the lane coming around this corner. And I know I've mentioned it before, a lot of the systems on these other cars, they don't do that. They kind of sit there and bounce you across lane line to lane line. So this G70 is Genesis' smallest sedan, and it competes, like I said, against the TLX, the Lexus IS, Mercedes C-Class, BMW 3 Series, you know, all of those more compact sports sedans. But really, Genesis kills it when it comes to the value. For 50 grand, you get a car that drives itself with a rear-wheel drive biased all-wheel drive system, a super powerful V6, and an interior that's very, very top-notch. So speaking of that interior, here on the door cards, you've got nice materials. It's soft touch. There's no hard, scratchy plastics. Everywhere where you're gonna rest your elbows is comfortable. Your armrest is padded. Your other armrest is padded. Your windowsill here is padded. There's not very many cheap materials in this car, and honestly, it was hard for me to find anything that was a hard, scratchy plastic until I started looking around. The only spot where I could find a subpar material is places where you're not really gonna care. So down here on your door cards, which it's kind of a soft touch material, but it's still a little scratchy, but that's okay because when you kick your door open, you're kicking this all the time and you don't want that to be leather or something that's gonna wear prematurely. So that's okay. Up front, you've got, you know, a nice heated steering wheel, and it's got 2 ways, so you can have a high and a low on the heat setting, which is really nice. A lot of cars should offer that. I haven't seen many other cars other than Genesis offer a 2-way heated steering wheel. That's really nice. In this Sport Advanced model, you also get heated and ventilated front seats. We have a partly digital gauge cluster here in the middle. And for 2022, here in the middle, we've got a larger infotainment screen, just like the Stinger did on the 2022. It's a 10.25 inch display. And if you know anything about Genesis, Hyundai, and Kia, you know that this screen is gonna work really well. It's responsive, it doesn't have any lag, and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto work phenomenally every single time. Under that, we have hard buttons for all of our radio controls. You know, if you wanna go to the map, super easy, click map. And one of my favorite things about Hyundai, Kia, Genesis is they always include this star button. I always program it to phone projection. So say if I'm on the radio and I want to get back to Apple CarPlay really quick, but I don't want to go digging through this touchscreen, that's it. Super easy. Below that, you've got your nice climate control vents, and you have these really nice physical dials for your climate control, something I absolutely love. Here in the center console, you've got a drive-by-wire shifter that feels really premium. It reminds me of something you would have seen in an older BMW, honestly. And you've got a drive mode selector right there next to that. And you've got 5 different drive modes in this car. You've got Eco, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and Custom. And since I've been driving this car, I've primarily been rocking it in Sport and Sport Plus just because that's how I roll. But I just made the Custom mode how I would like the car. And for me, in this car, that means I've got the powertrain set at Comfort and everything else at either Sport or Sport Plus, depending on what it offers. And what that does for me is that gives me the steering of Sport Plus, the quick response of the differential of Sport Plus, but the throttle's a lot more manageable. So it's not as eager to downshift, which I really enjoy. If I throw it into Sport Plus and I give it that same amount of throttle that I just did, it instantly downshifts and you get a lot more response. Hyundai, Kia, Genesis, they do a killer job at programming their drive mode. Now, how does this car compare to, like, say, the Stinger? Well, for starters, I think this car drives a lot nicer. It just feels more refined. It feels more linear, a little bit more confidence-inspiring than the Stinger. And it likes to oversteer, where the Stinger doesn't really tend to oversteer as much. I can definitely tell that the G70, they're sending a little bit more power to the rear wheels, something I definitely appreciate. And then on our sported vans, the interior is like killer. From these red seat belts to the red piping and stitching on the seats, it's a really premium look and feel on this interior. I posted a picture of this on one of my Snapchat stories, and I had a couple of friends asking me what kind of car this was, and not a single one of them guessed Genesis. Pretty much everyone thought it was a Mercedes just because of these seats. All I posted was a picture of these seats. Genesis, they're killing it. And how about exterior styling? Well, the refreshed 2022 G70, I think Genesis is absolutely killing it. Up front, we have an awesome grille. I absolutely love the design that Genesis is going for with their new styling, from the grille to the split headlights. This car is honestly the whole package. It looks really, really nice, especially down the side where we've got some really sweet alloy wheels that are black on this model, as well as functional vents right there by the front wheels. And you've even got really, really great body lines flowing from front to back that really give this car some nice hips. And then around back, the split design carries on with the taillights. I really, really like the taillight design in this car. You've got a nice large opening trunk, so there's no problem fitting all of your gear in here. We can fit all of our review gear in here. And then at the bottom of the rear bumper, you've got these dual exhausts that are shaped like an oval, and they actually sound really good. And how about visibility? So visibility in this car is actually really good as well. You have lots of forward visibility, and you can see these nice sharp lines on the hood. Really like that. Down the side, I've got no blind spots really at all. Where the C-pillar is, where you normally have this huge blind spot, they've got these rear quarter windows that just make it so much easier to see back there. And you've also got blind spot monitors. So if there is somebody in your blind spot that you somehow can't see, which I don't know how this would happen, you don't have to worry about it, because the car's gonna yell at you if you try to get over in front of them. It's pretty great. So how about all the safety tech? Genesis has always been really forward thinking with all of their safety equipment. So this model is no exception. We've got blind spot monitors, we have lane keep assist, we have forward collision warning, we have adaptive cruise control. I mean, every modern safety system, this car's got it. And they all work extremely well. So if I set my adaptive cruise control here, 50 miles an hour, it accelerates up to that speed. If I press the lane keep assist button, as soon as the little steering wheel here on the center display turns green, I know this car is gonna steer the wheel for me. And then you can just sit back and relax. All of these driver assistance features make your commute so much more livable. And that's kind of why you buy a car like this. And if you're looking at something like, say, the BMW 3 Series, the Mercedes C-Class, the Acura TLX, the Lexus IS, and you haven't looked at the Genesis, I definitely think you should. This car has everything those other competitors offer at A, a better value, and B, I think Genesis just does it better. Their lane keep assist works better than anything Acura or Lexus offers. I can't speak for BMW, Audi, or Mercedes, but definitely better than what the Japanese companies have to offer. This car is quick. I have no problems with the powertrain. It's very responsive. The paddle shifters do exactly what you want them to do. It doesn't lag like a lot of cars. This is just a really good car. So if you want to get an instant quote on this vehicle or any other Genesis, click the link down below in the description, and that's all it takes. I'm Steve with McGrath Imports, and this has been the review of the 2022 Genesis G70.